Let's do this. So happy Monday. What are we doing today? So I'm going to talk to you about basically solving variables on both sides, like what you did 2 weeks ago. So math that you already know how to do. The only difference is that there's going to be an inequality in there. So after we talk about that, then you are going to get an Ingenuity, go do the instruction and take notes. So if you remember how to get the notes, there's like a little plus sign there, and then that's where you're printing off your notes or taking it through Kami. Do realize though, it says you do not need to submit your notes. Okay, so I want you to have it. All of you should have a binder with your school supplies from this year. It's a 1-inch 3-ring binder, and that's really just where you're going to put all your math stuff when you come back to school. If you come back to school, then that's where you're going to keep all your math stuff just for the whole year. Okay. Before we get doing that, I want to remind you all, because there were about 6 of us that didn't get all of your work done on time. Remember, we have deadlines now, okay? So some of you have gotten zeros already in math class, and that will be shown up on Skyward soon. But please remember, there are deadlines. So today, you are doing the solving one variable inequalities instruction. So today is Monday, which means that watching this video and getting it done is due by tomorrow night. So tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. Again, please don't procrastinate, because tomorrow you're going to have a quiz. So I don't always want you to just be a day behind, but please try to get that stuff done. For those of you who are behind, I want to give you a heads up that I have been emailing and calling your parents just so they can get on you too. It's kind of hard for me to get on you when you're not in front of me. So if you hear your parents say something to you today, well, you'll know why, because your teacher emailed them or called them, okay? Try to get better time management skills so that you can get your work done, because the worst thing is for you to fall very, very far behind, okay? All right, let's do this. I don't think you need to write this down. This is old math, like math-wise, it's old. I think that maybe there are a couple new issues with like flipping the sign, but that's about it. But I think you can get away with not writing this down. If you want to write it down, you are always more than welcome, okay? So your faces are hidden, your screens are hidden, so I can't see you. So please unmute and shout out the answer if you have one, okay? So let's solve this inequality. 6n plus 5 is greater than 2n minus 3. So I'm going to draw my line going all the way down. Now, can someone shout out, what's the first thing I should do here?
Add 3.
Add 3. Okay, so you didn't have to. Like, I could add 3 and still get the same answer. Some of you want to subtract the 2n. Some of you want to subtract the 6n. It really doesn't matter. But since that person said add 3 first, let's add 3. Basically, the point is I want to get all of my n's on one side and then all of my numbers on the other side. So I have 6n plus 8 is greater than 2n. Okay, now that person has said add 3, there's only one thing I can do now. Only one correct step. Does anyone know at this point, what do I do?
Subtract 6n.
Thank you. So you want to get your n's on the same side, so you have to subtract 6n. Even though that's the bigger n, that's okay. You'll have a negative, so just be careful with negatives. I get negative 4n. Now I'm going to divide both sides by negative 4. So just drop everything down. I have negative 2. I flipped my symbol because I divided by a negative, and then n. So n is greater than negative 2. Okay, this adding 3 probably wouldn't have been my first go-to step, but you still get the right answer. You still get the same answer as me, and let me show you why. Okay, if my problem was 6n plus 5 is greater than 2n minus 3, let me just show you. If I did it my way, I would have probably subtracted 2n first. So then I would get 4n plus 5 is greater than negative 3. Then I probably would have subtracted 5. So I get 4n is greater than negative 8. Then I would have divided by 4. So I get n is greater than. I don't switch the symbol because I'm not dividing by a negative, negative 2. But notice how, like, I did a completely different first step than the first person, and I still got the same exact answer. N is greater than negative 2, n is greater than negative 2. Okay, so it doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you move your items around so that you have all your variables on one side and your numbers on the other. And don't forget to flip your symbol. If you multiply or divide by negative, you should still get the same answer. Okay, let's try another one. So this one, I have 10x minus 3 is less than 2 parentheses 5x plus 1. Now here's the thing. I think that some of you want to divide by 2 first, but remember, you only do that if you're solving for like a bunch of variables. This is just a normal math problem. Think back to 7th grade. So I see parentheses. What's the first thing I should do?
Distribute.
Right, distribute. So please distribute. Don't divide by 2, because if you divide by 2, you probably will get the right answer, but you're making it so much more complicated with fractions and all that stuff. So let's just distribute. I have 10x minus 3 is less than 10x plus 2, right? I'm just multiplying. 2 times 5x is 10x. 2 times 1 is 2. Okay, now someone different. Can they please tell us what to do first?
Subtract 10x on both sides.
Okay, so let's minus 10x on both sides. Oh, they completely disappeared. Like all of my variables disappeared. Okay, well, that's okay. Let's see what I have left. Negative 3 is less than positive 2. So this is a situation where my answer is not negative 3, it's not 2, it's not negative 3 is less than 2. I have to think, is this a true statement? So yes or no, is this true or is this false? C, it is true, right? This is true. Negative 3 is less than positive 2. So if that's the case, there are specific words that I can say. Does anyone remember what those words are? Starts with an A. It's 3 words. Starts with an A. All real
numbers.
Thank you. All real numbers. Or you could say infinitely many solutions. Either one should be fine. A-R-N or I-N-F. Infinitely. Oh, sorry, you can't see. A-R-N or I-N-F. You don't have to spell it all out. Okay? So please just keep in mind, if all of your X's or your variables disappear, say if it's true or false. Since this is a true statement, then your answer is going to be all real numbers or infinitely many solutions. Okay, so here's a trick question. How do I graph all real numbers? Like, I don't have a number line because I don't know what number it goes on because look, there's no X with some number. Like I don't do a negative 3 or a positive 2. So I just have a line. Does anyone know how to graph all real numbers?
Would you just put 2 points on the number line?
Okay, so let's put negative 3 and positive 2 since those were the 2 points I got. But it doesn't have to be. I mean, I can put any point. Okay, now what? If all real numbers means every single number on the number line, this is how I graph it. I literally just highlight every single number on the number line and have 2 arrows because all real numbers means it could be any number possible on the number line. Okay? All right. Let's move on for this one then. Oh, you can't see it. Okay. Do you need me to move or? Okay, thank you. All right, so first of all, take a look at this problem. What do you guys think is the first thing I need to do?
Distribute.
Thank you. You see parentheses, so make sure you distribute, please. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to distribute. So I have 9x minus 6 plus 6x is greater than or equal to 8x minus 6. Okay, now what?
Combine like terms.
Thank you. On the left side, you can combine like terms because you have 2 x's. So you have 9 plus 6, so that's 15x minus 6 is greater than or equal to 8x minus 6. Okay, now it looks like a normal problem. What do I do now?
Where did the 8x come from?
Ooh, where did the 8x come from? Silly rabbit. Thank you for telling me this. See, if you were in normal class right now, I would have given you a piece of candy because 3 times 5 is not 8, silly rabbit. It's 15. So sorry. Thank you for whoever said that. So sorry. Thank you for speaking up. Okay, now what do I do?
Subtract 15x.
Minus 15x on both sides. Oh, looks like all my x's disappeared. That's okay. Write what you have left. -6 is greater than or equal to -6. Okay, so now all my x's disappeared. I have to say if this is true or false. Is -6 greater than or equal to -6?
Yes.
Yes, it is a true statement. So when it's a true statement, what should I write?
Infinitely many solutions.
Infinitely many solutions, or you can say all real numbers. Either answer is fine. Okay, you could say either term. And remember, if I graph it, I'm going to basically have a number line. I really don't even need to have any numbers on the bottom because it's every number, and then just make sure you highlight the whole thing. Okay, last one. Here's my problem. All right, guys, what do I do first?
Distribute.
Okay, so distribute, and it looks like I have to distribute here. All right, please tell me if I'm doing this wrong. All right, 3 times 1 is 3, minus 3 times x is 3x, plus 10x is less than or equal to, so distribute the next one, 9x minus 18 plus 7. Hopefully I did that right this time. Okay, now what, guys?
Combine like terms.
Thank you. So on the left side, you have an x and an x. On the right side, you have a number and a number. So only combine the things that are on the same side. That's why I'm combining x's here. So I have 3, -3 plus 10 is positive 7x is less than or equal to. Okay, so then for this one, I have -18 plus 7 is -11. So 9x minus 11. Okay. Now what, guys?
You can subtract 7x.
Minus 7x. Remember, you don't have to subtract 7x first. Like you could do other steps and you should still get the same answer. 3 is less than or equal to 2x minus 11. Now what?
Add 11.
Add 11. So I get 14 is less than or equal to 2x. Divide by 2. I don't flip my symbol because I didn't multiply or divide. So you have x is greater than or equal to 7. And that's your solution. Okay. Okay. I have one last final question for you before we do word problems. What if my answer was no solution? Like, you know that your answer would be no solution if you get an answer like 2 is greater than 7. It's not true, right? 2 is not greater than 7. That's why your answer would have been no solution. Does anyone know, how do I graph no solution? Because it's none of these. So how do I graph that?
Good morning, teachers and students. At this time, we will be doing our hold drill. Hold in your classroom or your designated area. Hold in your classroom or designated area.
I think that means I have to shut my door. Okay, think about it. Hold on. Do we have to cut the shade? We just close the shade. Sorry. Okay. All right. So does anyone figure it out? How do I graph no solution? Okay. If all real numbers means every single number on the number line, so that's why I just graph them all. I just include it all. No solution means nothing on the number line, which means I just leave it blank. Just leave your number line blank, okay? No solution means nothing, so just leave your number line blank. Don't even graph anything. All real numbers means do it all. Okay. Word problem. Okay. Forest Campground charges 100% or $100 membership fee plus $35 per night. Woodland, it's a different thing, so I'm going to do a different color. Woodland Campground charges $20 membership fee plus $55 per night. Your friend says that you plan to camp for 4 or more nights, then you should choose Woodland. Is your friend correct? I don't know. Okay. You could do this the elementary way. You could say like, figure out, night 1, night 2, night 3, night 4, see how much everything would be after 4 nights. Or you could write an inequality. If I wanted to write the inequality, let's say Forest is on the left, Woodland is on the right. Okay, you have a $100 membership fee plus $35 per night. Well, how many nights? I don't know. So do you see how that would just be 35x? And then Woodland is a $20 membership fee plus 55 per night, so that's 55x. Okay, so they're saying after 4 days, Woodland is bigger. So that should be bigger after 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type that in my calculator and figure out how much it would be for 4 nights. So do you see how like for this one, I have 100 plus 35 times 4, like that. So I have $240 here after 4 nights. For this one, 20 plus 55 times 4. So that's also $240. So is your friend right? After 4 days, you would have Woodland would be more expensive? No, right? Because 240 equals 240. So your friend is actually wrong. And then you would explain why. And explaining really just means showing your work. Okay. Last word problem, and then we are done for the day. Okay. The students in charge of the class booth at a carnival would like to earn $3 for every item they sell. They spent $55 for the materials. Write and solve the inequality that would represent how many items they would need to sell to make a profit of at least $65. Did we do this one before? Did this one? No. I feel like it sounds very familiar. Okay, let's just do it. Does anyone think they know this inequality?
Is it 3x plus 55
So
on
close.
one side or minus 55
Right, you
on one
spent
side?
$55. That's why you're using it. Okay, keep going.
And then
You are all clear. Thank you for following the guidelines and doing a great job staying in your class. We do that for practice so that you understand that in case of emergency, we are here to keep you safe. Thank you and have a great rest of the day.
Sorry, guys. Okay, sorry. So whoever was speaking, can you say it again? 3x minus 55, and then what?
And then on the other side, it'd be 65.
Right. And then what is your symbol?
It would be even the 3x minus 55 with the line under it.
That's right, because you want at least. Okay, so thank you. When you solve this, we're adding 55 to both sides. So you have 3x is greater than or equal to 120, and then x is greater than or equal to 40. Okay, so some of you, like on the quiz, you say that your answer is 40, but right, you want to, I guess for this one it is 40. But if your answer was like x is greater than 40, this is what some of you guys did wrong on your quiz the day before, or like last Friday. You said that your answer was 40, but if you wanted more than 40, then it would have to be 41. Does that make sense? Like if in a word problem, if this was your answer, then your answer isn't 40 because it's more than 40. Your answer would be 41. And that's what some of you got wrong on your quiz last Friday. So just be careful when you have a word problem, okay? Okay,